Eric Rieser, Dane Sanzenbacher with you on this Saturday, the last Saturday in July. Ohio State will start their training camp on Thursday at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. We will be out there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Hopefully not annoying them too much with our drivel. Dane, you and I will be out there next Saturday from 10 to 1, trying to figure out who Ohio State's quarterback is. Well, that's going to be the question up until probably the Thursday.
I can find out.
Before Texas week.
I know people there.
Okay.
You want to find out?
I think you have connections that might give us a little bit better of an answer.
No, would never do that.
Well,
would never burn that bridge. That's the thing.
I would not want you to do it yet. Right?
It just wouldn't. I'm sorry.
I
just need to be up front, and I work here, but that's the trouble. There's a certain
you care too much about alma mater?
Not about alma mater, about the individuals that are there.
I see.
Kind of alma mater, but I can't lump the school all into one thing. But on a personal level, yeah. I wouldn't pull that.
We can't do the quarterback thing now because we still need time, right? We got to let this kind of marinate. We need to put eyeballs on those quarterbacks.
Then
make our decision.
We'll know when we see it.
I think a lot of the players will too. But what with you have at Ohio State, you've got all over the country. You got a quarterback, whether it be a transfer quarterback or a guy you recruited. He's going to be making his first start either August 23rd or August 30th. One of those 2 weekends, that's his first time in front of a live crowd, in front of 11 guys that want to knock his head off. And so I'm extremely interested this season because I think this is the first time we're going to get a real sense of, is the transfer portal thing working for some schools? Because there are a lot of schools that are taking huge gambles on transfer portal persons. You saw Ohio State do it last year. I do think the personnel that you have at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center know how to identify talent. And they got a guy in Will Howard who not only was a really good quarterback, but a great leader. And he could come in and could earn the respect of the players and be that alpha dog to lead them through moments of the season where the bleep hit the fan.
I think that's the important one.
Yeah.
I think that's all really they're trying to sort out. You'll learn a lot through camp. They probably already have a good feeling. Now, I haven't followed it closely and haven't even asked those questions.
Hasn't been a whole lot.
But you want to go... At this point, I think it's fair to look at this program and say, whoever you decide on, I trust that decision.
Oh, yeah.
It's well thought out, and there's we've gone through this enough and have a long enough history with Coach Day and these guys making these decisions that it's like, okay, who you go with, I'm for that.
Yeah.
And even it's like Kyle McCord was kind of the one that felt the most unsexy. It was like because it was like this guy was a backup. This feels weird moving into a starting role.
Yeah.
In hindsight, though, I mean, we were as Ohio State, we were probably too hard on Kyle McCord.
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
and that's the nature of being here.
Yep.
But that was the guy for that team, and so I think consistently, however the process has gone through camp, through leaving the competition open, we're not going to lock this in. They have a rhythm of how they like to do that. Mm-hmm. Let's get this through camp. Let's see who emerges. And I think there's probably a piece of it, too, is you could be pretty sure in the offseason. You have to... I
think you had a pretty sure guess after the spring game. With as much football as they've watched and as many players as they've scouted, that probably came in the spring game. They're like, but also...
Well, I mean, spring and summer.
Let it play out in the fall. You have to, though.
But then when camp comes, it has a different feeling, and you're going to need to see what the guy, even if you think it's the guy, what he looks like when there's an actual game looming.
Yeah.
How he carries himself in the huddle, how he handles throwing a pick at practice, how he handles criticism. I mean, the coaching staff there is they've remarked before of how they like to see how these guys react. Like, Coach Day is going to be hard on me as a quarterback coach. I'm going to be hard on him. I want to see how they react. Those are things you can't get in the offseason because it doesn't feel real yet. It feels real now. Or in a week, it will feel real. So I think that's what you're looking for. I mean, I think that's what will be, to what extent we can see at practice next week.
That part of it as well, as Ohio State putting on more of an NFL-style training camp will give a lot, but probably not everything to our eyeballs.
Yeah, very. We'll be doing a lot of the same talking we're doing now in a location,
but outside,
but outside, and we'll be able to see at least a little bit. But that's what I think. That's what I think you're looking for, and that's something I think they've done a great job of identifying. Because I think, I don't know, these past in recent memory, whether the quarterbacks are first round draft picks or not. These are guys that were the right call for their given year.
Yeah, there will never not be talent in Ohio State's quarterback room. Like, I do find it funny when we have these conversations about who should the quarterback be. They go, well, these guys are really talented. Like, grass is green, water is wet. Ohio State, under Ryan Day, under Urban Meyer, always had talent in the quarterback room. But the fine line that the two guys in competition have to walk is those little things, like leadership in the huddle, leadership in the locker room, how you respond to a bad play, how you take coaching, how you take criticism, how you apply yourself in the media. Are you a guy that works with other guys after practice on things like they might have issues with? Like, it's all of those little things that will separate at a place like Ohio State. Because I think Lincoln Kienholz is a tremendous athlete. You certainly heard everything for the last 2 years about him. Julian Sayin. It was, for me, the fact that they had 5 guys in their quarterback room and they still went to get Julian. Once he popped into the transfer portal, it kind of told me where they thought this future was going to go for the quarterback job. But you got to do it on the field because you can't fool the guys in the locker room. And so I think that's where they're in a really good position right now, Ohio State is, with the 2 guys that they potentially can throw out there against Texas.
I think it's one of the more exciting times for that.
Oh,
I think this is a more anticipatory season. Like, I'm more excited to see that because it's not it was abundantly clear it was going to be Will Howard. I thought last year it was like, you didn't bring this guy in, you're going to give him his shot. He's going to be your guy, whether you announce it. Like this one, whoever they end up going with, to have a young group of quarterbacks. It also makes me, it hits on a little bit of like, oh, the good old days. To have young guys in there that like, oh man, we could potentially get a dude for 3 years. Yeah. We could have a history with players like we used to have. You know, like you get to know them, you've seen them, like you remember like sophomore year struggle, junior year was much better, and then senior year, oh, that was the year. You remembered guys in their like what era they were of years, and were they sophomore, junior, senior, not like the 1 year transfer in. And that has its perks, but
that's a thing looking at the top 10 from the Big Ten in the USA Today's preseason Big Ten football rankings. Penn State's number 1. Drew Aller, quarterback, been there for years. Ohio State, quarterback battle. Oregon Ducks, Dante Moore, guy they got out of the transfer portal. Michigan Wolverines, they got a couple guys out of the transfer portal. They paid $10.5 million for Bryce Underwood, who's a freshman. Illinois, Luke Altmaier has been a guy that did come out of the transfer portal but played last year for Illinois. Nebraska, Dylan Raiola. Good last year, but still questions there. Iowa, they got a Grunkmeyer and a Gronowski out of the transfer portal.
Those are some Iowa quarterback names. I've never heard of either of them. So actually, you lost me. Truly, you lost me after the first 2.
Well, I'm just reading those teams, and I'm just trying to, I guess, paint the picture of nobody knows what's going to go on with this. And I think that's what makes it so exciting for me, looking forward to this next month, where you start to learn a little bit more, but you're not going to have any real idea until boot meets the ball on August 30th for any of these teams. And there's a lot of ballyhoo about Penn State and the talent that they bring back defensively, offensively. They say they've got the deepest running back room in the country, but James Franklin's still the head coach. I asked you in the break, your confidence that James Franklin can lead a Penn State team, any Penn State team, to the precipice of the sport? Low.
I just don't have my expectation there. I don't know, and maybe it's because they've been a very good Big Ten team, but I've never put them probably where they think they ought to be, in like that upper tier of I'm expecting you to make the playoff now and make a run every year. Like if you're saying like last year was a letdown for Penn State, I did not see it that way. That's where Penn State lives for me. Now they're going to be their job to try to break through that ceiling. They have to they have to get through that. But I mean, I think, I don't know. Maybe it's just it could be as simple as like, it's just not flashy enough. It's not.
Penn State will never be flashy.
And that's the brand. That's fine. But that's part of the fun of it too. Is like that's where Penn State lives in that.
They've
like
always been.
They
in
can
that.
disrupt. They can beat any of these teams. They can beat you, whether you're Ohio State or Michigan. So I don't whether they get over the edge.
Can they disrupt enough to do something that they haven't done since the 90s? And Dan Lanning's got to move past the Rose Bowl. All of that coming up next at Sports.